Hi guys, before I start with part 2 of my video, Mya-whaatt, I just want to say that as I was recording it, it got a little long, so I'm going to break up part 2 into 2 sections. So there will be another part or part 3 after the part 2, because I got a little winded there and started talking a little bit too much. So sit back, enjoy, and listen to my part 2 of Mya-whaatt. Hello guys, I am back with part 2 of my Mya-whaatt. Anyways, as I told you in the first part about this illness that I have called myasthenia gravis, I told you quite a bit, but I did explain what myasthenia gravis was, being a neuromuscular disease that affects your muscles, your nerves and your muscles just don't work together. So I believe the last thing I told you was the medication or the treatment that I was that I was taking then, which was prednisone and mestynine. I was taking mestynine. I think I was taking like 3 mestynine, like 2 tablets, which was 60 milligrams each. I was taking that like every 4 to 5 hours, depending on the symptoms that I was experiencing. Then at some point I had to increase it to 3 mestynine every 4 hours, which was not the best thing to do, but it was helping me. After a while, I had been taking the mestynine for several years, and then at some point I realized that I was supposed to be eating prior to taking the medication. So what I would do early in the morning when I would wake up, the first thing I would do is take my 2 mestynines. At the time, I was working at probate court, and it was okay, like I said, for several years. But then at some point, those tablets, taking them on an empty stomach, really started to affect my stomach. And I think maybe it did something to the lining of my stomach, because I would have like these excruciating stomach pains. And I mean, it got to the point where, so I worked in the court, so there was sometimes I literally had to go into the bathroom and just lay on the floor because I was in so much pain. So then I was, told, well, while taking mestynine, I should also be eating first something to coat my stomach. So I then started to do that. So also I was, the best thing is to be your own advocate, because even though the doctors have studied and everything, they only know what they've read. You and your body knows what's actually going on with you. So at some point, like I said, I was taking 3 mestynine, and I was taking, that at night just before I went to sleep too. But then that was not good for me because it was causing some type of reactions. So I did talk to my doctor about that, and he actually reduced the mestynine. Now by this time, my prednisone, I had been weaned off my prednisone. I was not taking as many pills, and I really can't remember how many pills I was taking at the time, but I was being weaned off, or had already weaned off the prednisone. But anyways, upon talking to my doctor, I was having these episodes at night where I would wake up as though I was choking, that I couldn't get my breath. He did sleep studies on me, and I was then told that I have sleep apnea and I should be using a CPAP, which I did start using the CPAP. Also, I suggested to my doctor that instead of taking the Mestinon just before bed, because the effects of the Mestinon only lasted for maybe 4 hours, maybe longer, just depending on my symptoms. So I did ask my doctor if I could start using Mestinon time release capsules, which they were 180 milligrams. So I would just take one of those at night, and it would just, be in my system throughout the night. And I found that worked really well. So I was doing the time release Mestinon at night, and doing the 2 milligrams or 2 pills throughout the day as needed. Sometimes I would only, take, 3 pills throughout the day, but it depend on my symptoms. While I was working, there were times where I could not grip my pen tight enough, and my penmanship kind of started to get, it was kind of scribbly or illegible. And that was kind of frightening to me. So the ptosis would come and go. The diplopia would also come and go. But one of my eyes would usually be not open as much. I thank God that I have not had any of those symptoms in a few years. Thank God. But as I said, I was taking the 160 or 180 at night, and then the 60 milligram throughout the day. Like I said, I was starting at three pills, and I decreased it to 2 pills. Now I'm only taking 1 pill as needed. Sometimes I don't take any pills throughout the day. Thank God. But for the last few years now, I've been, like I said, just maybe taking 2 pills a day, but on an average, I'm only taking 1 pill a day. And there are days when I don't need to take a Mestinon at all. Now, I would still take the 180 at night. However, a few months ago, I decided to stop the 180, the time release pill at night. And I was good. But then there was a period where I felt like I was starting to do that choking thing at night where I couldn't breathe. So I started to take the time released again. And I am embarrassed to say I have not used my CPAP in a while. My doctors tell me that I should, but I've not used my CPAP in probably 2 years now. And again, thank God, everything is fine with me. Praise His name. Thank God. But anyways, so some people have asked me if myasthenia gravis is hereditary. Well, no, it's not hereditary. It's just what it is that there's a thymus gland that we have in our bodies, which is large when we're born, and as we grow, it is supposed to shrink. Mine and those of us who have myasthenia gravis, it did not shrink.